Alright, I wanted to give a quick update on the Toyota. We have switched up kind of the idea here, and I don't know how well you can see it under the truck. The lighting's not working with me. But this truck is no longer independent front suspension, so we've already cut this off. We're coming in here to cut all of this off still. We cut this bump stop off last night. Still got a lot of work to do, but we decided to do a solid front axle swap. So I got some video of us cutting last night that I'll time lapse, as well as do some more here today. Otherwise, the motor is down here all wrapped up and tucked away, mostly sealed. We got the transmission out, transfer case out, starting to clean this stuff up. We do have a broken bolt in here that we are working on figuring out. So, if it'll zoom. Oh, not really. You can kind of see it. But, yeah. That's what we're working on. I'm going to keep chopping away at this. The other side's a little bit different. Took kind of two different approaches last night. But, yeah, it's all got to come off, so it's all good. Alright, welcome back to the Toyota build. First here, time lapse, you see me removing the cross member from the independent front suspension. And then this first night of working on it, it was my buddy Angel and I. Just took two angle grinders and started chopping away. Basically everything related to the independent front suspension had to go. And yeah, there's some stuff. I've looked at a bunch of builds online, and I see all sorts of different kind of, some people take the little front diff mounts basically from the independent front suspension out. Some people leave them, they're not really in the way. We went ahead and we tried to cut absolutely everything off of this frame that we could. So yep, here's a bunch of video of us cutting. Wow, that is still stuck. I thought that was coming off. I see where it needs some more. So at this point, we've already drilled the holes for the rear shackle mounts of the leaf springs that are going to go in front. You can see Peter finishing up a little bit of fitment for those bungs that will eventually get welded in. I read online a recommendation to use a piece of conduit to make sure they line up right, so I went ahead and did that. Got a piece of conduit here, and they look pretty good. I'm gonna do some fitment here for this cross member.
I think it just keeps popping off, man.
Yeah. Got my directions. Let's see what we can do. I can't believe they show this. So on the directions, they show leaving this gap here and welding it to these. So, I cannot believe that the directions tell you to leave this gap right here and only weld it to these two tabs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it all fitted up where I like it on here. I'm going to mark out where this sits on these tabs, and it's going to be a little zigzag cut on either side, but I'm going to fit it perfect up in there. That way we can stitch weld the entire front and the entire back of this. Give it a little bit more strength. It will make these two leaf spring mounts sit, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch higher. I'm not too worried about that. We'll figure that out as we get there, but I don't think it'll have too much effect. So yeah, I'm gonna start fitting this up and we'll probably go into a time lapse. So there you can see, let's see if I can get it to focus, the notch I've been working on. I gotta come clean it up still. So yeah, here you can see the back of those notches that I had just finished up in the video. They fit pretty well with the bracket that we got from Trail Gear, and that entire rail sits flush, so we're going to stitch weld that on when it comes time, and it's going to be real nice. Hey guys, we finally secured our solid front axle that's going to go in this '86 Toyota. I'm working on disassembly. I didn't pull the camera out and cleaned it all up, so I pressure washed it. I pulled the hubs off on both sides, so right now I'm going to work on getting the axles out and this whole rotor assembly, hub assembly out. Still got a little bit more to go, but we're getting there. This disassembly's been going really well so far. I'll also note I just got this in. I got some of these shirts that will be linked on the YouTube site, so you can buy those if you'd like. Check that out. Otherwise, I'm just going to get after it. Alright, this axle assembly, or disassembly, really did go about as smooth as you could ask for an axle that had sat and not been touched for a long while. I bought this off a guy who just had a frame and a drivetrain sitting that I believe was from a truck that got rolled and then had sat in a junkyard for a while. So, yeah, it all came apart pretty well. You can see me pulling all the hub and rotor assemblies off here and then getting ready. Pulling the spindles and the knuckles. Overall, nothing gave us too much trouble. The differential just came out there that you can see. We're trying to clean, kind of throw some oil on everything as it came apart. So it was a little crusty, but like I said, overall, no complaints. No complaints at all. I think we got a solid axle. the axle shafts and everything spun really smooth when we picked it up, which again I was kind of surprised by, but it's a testament to these old Toyota axles. Here I'm taking off the upper and lower bearing caps of the knuckles, which hold the steering arms. These the upper ones get replaced, and then I believe the lower caps get reused. I do have all new bearings. In this video you don't see, but a little bit later on I had to punch those bearing races out with a punch. That was actually probably the hardest part of this disassembly, and it wasn't too bad at all. Here you see a little bit of me cutting some brackets off. Most of the bracket cutting I had done previous to pulling it into the garage. I decided to take a Sawzall and a grinder outside with it in the driveway and cut most of that off. And then I came back in the garage and I cut the last couple brackets off and ground everything down. Last, what you don't see here is I cut off all of the shock mounting positions because those will get redone here in the next video.
After a long, hard day of grinding, disassembling the front axle. Just getting ready, getting close for the reinforcement.
Here you're seeing us get ready to pull the cab off. We're about to take it out of the garage. It's probably not the best way to do this, but it worked alright for us. We didn't have much room for a cherry picker in there, and it was just George and I, so we just kind of manhandled it out. We both agreed it wasn't the worst, but we also agreed that we would want at least one or two more people helping when we put that back on. We also probably will use a cherry picker. We'll probably roll the frame outside, hold it up with a cherry picker, and then pop it on. But yeah, pulling the cab went pretty well. We got it positioned on some blocks of wood off to the side. We really are just getting this out of the way for us.
Look at that. Set that camera adjust. That's it.
Up next, bed cap.
There's no more. Oh.
Alright, quick update on the Toyota. I'm out here working on it now. Fabricating some of the brackets. Well, they're all pre-done kits, but these two kits were not meant to work together. So basically we got this trail gear frame support here that goes on like this. It was much longer. It's supposed to go basically all the way to the front. But we also are relocating our steering box. So the original, where this hole is on this one, it's three bolts. Where this hole was right here from the factory. And so we're moving it forward. We just drilled these holes. We're setting this in place. But we still want to use this frame support on this side. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get this and clamp it on where I think it should be, and then draw lines that match on that bracket right there. I'm gonna cut it, and I think I'm gonna weld them together to make one single plate that we can just clamp to the side of this frame when it's time to weld everything and just burn it all on at once. And then it's one single stiffening plate all the way from the front. Nice seams. We'll weld and grind them, and then put some steel it on, and it'll be perfect. So that's what we're working on today. So yeah, here's a little wraparound shot from the next day. I got it all welded and ground down. It looks pretty good. Then I got the steering box relocation kit all clamped down, as you can see, as well as that front cross member. It all kind of interacts there on the frame rail, so I was making sure it fit well. And I think I'm going to wrap up this first part of the solid axle swap on these videos. You can see I got a couple videos of me tacking the armor onto the front axle, and then the last video you'll see here will be my buddy Cruz. I didn't really have a good camera out when he was welding. I just got a quick shot, but he came in and burned everything to the front axle. He'll also be helping us with the frame here coming up soon, so I'll try to get some better footage of that. And that'll all be coming up in part 2. I hope some people stuck around to watch all this, and I hope y'all enjoyed. please follow and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram and whatnot if you want to see more of this build. We're really excited to get it out to the trails.